Welcome back to another episode of Lionheart Radio. I'm your host, Memo Ochoa, co-founder of Lou Vive, along with
Claudia Challoner, doctor of physical therapy and nationally ranked powerlifter.
So thanks for being with us, guys. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday season. Today we have Timminy Haycock. She is a powerlifting coach, CrossFit coach, currently at CETC, California Elite Training Center. Brought her in today to talk about powerlifting, anything,
Woo-hoo.
life in general. So I got two powerful women across the table from me, and
yeah,
let's hope I don't make them
mad. We may
mad.
or may not lift more than you, but that's okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say you guys do lift more than me right now.
Just put that on the table.
So I'm going to keep quiet over here. Well, welcome, Timminy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I've actually known Timminy for a couple years now. She was actually one of my coaches at CrossFit ATR, and she regularly made fun of my lifting,
in a good way.
It definitely gave me that boost I needed. Well, I guess I need to put more weight on the bar. But, I thank you for that.
Only because I knew you could.
Appreciate that. So, again, welcome. So, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Las Vegas, born and raised. I spent 18 years there. Going back home, it's not... The novelty's kind of lost on me, so I pretty much avoid the strip. But no, my mom's still there. She still trains there. She trains at Max Effort, CrossFit Max Effort with Zach Forrest.
Nice.
Then I moved to the East Coast for a while, joined the Marine Corps, and spent the last 9, almost 10 years here in California.
Very good.
How long were you in the Marine Corps?
7 years.
Okay,
5
awesome.
active, 2 reserve.
Okay. What did you do?
I was a Korean linguist.
Oh, awesome.
I never went to Korea.
Okay.
Turns out they
Good
don't
times?
they don't speak Korean in Afghanistan.
Okay.
So that's where I went. That's where I went. But and then as a reservist, I was a water survival instructor. So I got to drown people for 2 years.
Awesome. At
That's
Miramar?
pretty
Yep, at Miramar.
Okay.
I spent 2
Gotcha.
years drowning Marines, and that was my job. Got to wear swimsuit and shorts and get paid. It's pretty sweet.
Nice. That's awesome.
Very cool.
So what got you into fitness, or what's your kind of fitness background?
Well, I grew up swimming. I swam since I was 8.
Oh, okay.
I was a competitive swimmer. I went to the Naval Academy, swam there, got kicked out. Wasn't the best behaved midshipman. Yeah, me, right? I was always in trouble. But after I left the Naval Academy, kind of stopped swimming. But 6 months later, I joined the Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
Fitness was kind of on and off. It was obligatory in the Marine Corps, obviously.
Yeah.
But when I got out, I found a CrossFit gym literally across the street from where I lived. I signed up, and that was at Counterculture. That was 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that's where you used
started
to be.
there.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
And I kind of bounced around from gym to gym.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Cool. So, what made you switch over from CrossFit to powerlifting? Because I did the same thing.
I can pinpoint it. I can blame Dave Castro for the 16.1 and 5 doing burpees in both workouts. And I finally realized, I'm not built to do burpees.
Yeah.
I'm too big for it. I prefer to pick things up and put them down.
Yeah.
One time, and that's it.
Good woman. I like it.
So how long have you been just doing powerlifting then?
Since after the Open last year. So since March.
Okay, awesome. And then did you do any higher competitions with CrossFit or anything like that?
I went to regionals on the team.
Okay,
Pariah.
that's what I was thinking.
Back when it was Pariah, now it's Ballast.
Okay, gotcha.
In 2014.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
Back when it was everybody could go to regionals.
Yeah.
Now it's literally half as many people go.
Yeah,
You
it's
think
pretty crazy.
2015 was the year that it just got super...
Well, that's when they
Would you say
changed
that?
everything over to the top 20, right?
Right.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I
that's
threw in my
right.
cards that year too. I was like, well, there it goes.
And in 2015, I actually had qualified in the 2014 standards. So I was in the top 40. So I'm like, darn. But then there was running, so I'm like, I don't have to do that. I have 0.0 on my car. I don't run.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about powerlifting, where you train, and so you're coaching now as well.
I'm the assistant coach for the DCS pack.
Okay, cool.
Gracie's the head coach. She coaches the men's and women's packs.
Okay.
Mostly remotely.
Okay.
And then she's in there, supporting the pack, everybody who's local.
Yeah.
And then I support all the newer lifters who come into our gym.
Yeah.
And kind of just make sure that they're getting off on the right foot. They know the movements. They know how to properly set up their plates or their chains and the bands, because we do the conjugate method.
Okay.
So
For those people that don't know about the conjugate method, can you explain that a little bit more?
So instead of just doing percentage work and doing volume work to kind of increase strength and go about your training cycle, we mix up the movements between all three of our movements. So we have bench, squat, deadlift, and we have dynamic effort, upper and lower. So we'll do a little bit of rep work, but every week we're going to max out your bench and the squat or the deadlift, one of the two. But it's never going to be a competition style lift. So we'll never do a 1 rep max bench unless it's on game day at the meet on the platform. Our max bench, for example, we'll add boards to decrease the range of motion on our chest, or we'll add bands to increase tension, or we'll add chains to increase weight at the top, or at the bottom of the bench. When you have chains, it's lighter. So as you're pushing up, you're having to increase the weight as you increase the distance away. Same thing for deadlift and squat.
Okay.
So it's just a different way of training, and I've been really successful with it. So.
That's great. Yeah, because you hear a lot of people saying like conjugate method or West Side barbell methods are more towards geared lifters. You hear the back and forth about that. But what's your take on that?
I think there's only a handful of people in our pack with gear who use equipment.
Oh, great. Cool.
I think Gracie does the equipment, but other than that, there's not any other ladies in our pack who do.
Oh, cool.
And there's only a handful of guys who do.
Yeah.
I think every single guy in our pack who's local is raw or classic raw. I'm classic raw.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't like the smelly knee sleeves.
And classic raw is where you compete with knee wraps.
Yes, knee wraps, not knee sleeves.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's 2 different classes for that?
Yeah, so the raw category, you can wear knee sleeves, obviously, like certain requirements with that. Yeah. Belt, wrist wraps.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. And then classic raw, you move up to those same things, belt, wrist wraps, and then you can also add in knee wraps.
Right.
So that's going to obviously affect your squat the most. I don't know how that would affect your bench press.
It actually does it. I thought it was really weird. I was looking at the records when I went to Worlds a little while ago, and the records for the bench press for classic raw were less than the bench press records for raw.
Okay.
Even though the squats were more.
Yeah.
Because it's the same lift. So the only thing that's different in those 2 classifications
is the squat. Yeah,
so
exactly.
The deadlift, but there's more people who compete in raw because it's just this. I call it a raw evolution. I don't know. It's just everybody wants to do raw. Classic raw is just grossly overlooked.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's so much more competition in the raw.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
I thought it was really strange. I didn't notice until I was looking up records. See what I had to break.
Oh, that's awesome. So you competed in, so tell us a little bit about like your competitions and stuff like that.
I've only done 2. I did one in May, just to kind of put numbers in the book. I'd never competed before, and I figured if I'm coaching, I might as well know what I'm talking about. And I qualified for Worlds, and I did that in October.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, just November.
And that was is it IPL?
Yeah, IPL.
Okay, the IPL.
International Powerlifting League.
Okay, gotcha. I know there's so many different leagues. I'm like, okay, wait, which one was it? Like, which one am I competing in? Like, I'm like trying to keep myself straight.
Somebody asked me and I forgot. I don't even know which one this one is.
Yeah. So, and that was in Las Vegas.
That was in Vegas. Yep.
So how many lifters did they have in that event? Was it multiple days, right?
It was multiple days. Okay. So last year for Worlds, they only had about 60 or 70 women.
Oh, okay.
So it was a 4-day event last year, so they made it a 4-day event this year as well. Because it was Veterans Day weekend.
Yeah.
So there were those 2 extra days of the weekend.
Okay.
So the women lifted on the first day, then the lower weight class men Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And this year, twice as many women qualified and wanted to compete.
That's freaking awesome. Cool. I love that.
The director had to email all the women asking, would you mind spilling over into the next day? But some people had already bought their plane tickets. Yeah. It was pretty close, so he just made 2 sessions.
Oh,
so next year, because it's growing so much with women, that there's going to be 2 days.
Heck yeah, that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
We're going to take over the world. Right. That's awesome. That's real cool. So what's your game plan from now?
Training for the U.S. Open in April, so I don't have to do the CrossFit Open.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep, that's going to be at Del Mar Fairgrounds.
Okay, awesome.
April 14th and 15th.
And Gracie's putting that on, right? Okay.
It's hosted by her and Russ. They're co-owners of the gym.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's going to be a lot of money in the payouts.
That's awesome.
Really competitive lifters from all over the world showing up for this event.
Fantastic. That's real cool.
Really fun.
Is that through USPA?
Yes. I believe so. Don't quote me on it. I think it is. Okay. But I have to double check because there's like we said, there's so many federations.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. That's awesome. That's really cool. So are you hoping to go to Worlds again? Is that like the next plan?
Well, I just graduated from school.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, looking for a big girl job, and that's kind of my main goal. Once I figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, then I'll kind of make the next plan for what the meet is. But having the U.S. Open in April, that's a big commitment.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm
really excited for it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really awesome. How are they gonna do it? A single day or 2-day event?
It's 2 days. Yeah.
Oh wow, that'll be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I have to lose some weight though.
What do you mind me asking? What weight class you're gonna compete in?
I compete at the 188s, but there isn't a 188s for this meet, so I'm gonna go down to 181s.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Yep. So are they just not doing it?
They're just I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind it, but 181 is gonna be the heaviest weight class for women.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But then they have all the weight classes for the men. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that'll be fun.
It's not hard for me to lose that weight.
Yeah.
I actually weighed in at like 189 or 190 for Worlds.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of the weight class.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, you're good.
Nice. Yeah.
I was trying to be safe.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do is stress out about that. I remember there was one meet where I had to cut down to the next weight class, and it was serious. I weighed in. I was that weight for 2 hours, and it was miserable.
Just,
like it's just that
into a bottle.
It's just that extra stress, and I was like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
nope, never doing this again. I don't care. I'm gaining weight, and I'm gonna be heavier and happier.
Yep. I want to eat what I want when I want.
Yeah, I was like, I loved the 6-pack that I had and stuff, but like, not worth it. Not worth it.
I have one big ab.
Not worth it. I was like, nope, never again. Yeah.
For my first meet, I weighed in 0.8 pounds over.
Oh,
so it was
my gosh,
181.8,
no way.
and they didn't give it to me. I thought it was within 1 pound. So I thought 181.8 was fine. It was a 2-hour drive to get there to weigh in the day before. I'm like, screw it, I'll do 188s.
And you couldn't they wouldn't give you the time to try to cut it? Or you just didn't want
It was
to?
my first meet. There was nobody in either weight class besides me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna do awesome, so whatever.
Yeah.
I had no idea how I was going to perform. It was like I said before, it was just to do a meet.
Yeah.
To get experience.
And then you rocked it. Like, what did you hit?
I think my squat was 374. My bench was I want to say it was 242. And the deadlift was like 390 or something.
That's awesome. That's real cool. What did you end up hitting for Worlds? Because you set a record or two?
I set the world record for bench. I hit 264. I hit 270 the other day.
That's so crazy. Oh my gosh.
I'm really excited to go again because I'm trying to hit 280. But
That's
I just hit
awesome.
440 squat, 200 kilos.
Nice.
And 402 deadlift. My deadlift is my worst.
Nice. But that's a serious squat. That's really awesome. So how much do you think adding the wraps onto your squat, how much does that affect your squat?
It really depends on who's wrapping me. If it's Gracie, where I can't feel my toes, and she's literally broken the skin before, it's about 80 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is that pretty standard with a lot of lifters when they add in wraps? Like, I mean, does it just depend on the lifter?
It depends on the lifter.
Okay.
Because so many things can go wrong. If your legs are wrapped differently, or if you're getting in your head, you're only thinking about how much pain your knees are in.
Yeah.
From being suffocated by the wraps.
Yeah.
Or if you have somebody wrapping too light.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Or if you wrap yourself. It takes a lot of energy to wrap yourself and then go to a
totally.
platform.
Yeah, that's a
It really
big
depends
deal.
on the person.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, interesting.
And it was actually, I got 2 white lights. I almost got a no lift on that last squat, because they were so tight that I had to force myself to get into
down.
the bottom of my squat.
Yeah. So how does that affect how you squat at all? Because I've worn, Gracie's actually wrapped my knees before and I squatted. And it's super intense, like super intense. Like, does it change like what you're thinking about as far as in the squat or your mechanics at all? Like, because I know with geared lifting, with bench and deadlift and stuff, like you actually have to think about different things when you are lifting because it kind of changes up your mechanics a little bit, right? Is that correct?
For me, not so much.
Okay, gotcha.
Personally, I have they all make fun of me in the pack. that I have a neck bar back squat instead of low bar. I've recently started doing low bar, but it's still a bounce at the bottom because I had that Olympic.
I'm telling you, that's what,
and it's my favorite. Like, I don't know how people just pause at the bottom. If I pause the bottom, I feel like that's just more work.
Yeah.
So
That's how I feel. I
totally bounce at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I feel like the wraps help me bounce.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
100%. Yeah.
But I was actually having this conversation with one of the guys in our pack, and he was telling me to get different wraps. But then he saw that I bounce. He didn't know that because he needs different wraps so he has stopping power to get down there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Whereas then he saw my squat. He said, "Oh nope, use those. You bounce."
Oh, interesting.
So I think it also depends on the wraps.
Yeah. Okay.
But what brand of wrap you use?
Yeah.
Was it made out of different material that he was going to suggest, or
It's probably. I know that mine have like these little rubber bands on the inside. So, and his are just nylon.
Got ya.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of like all the different knee sleeves.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
have the black ones, the blue ones.
Yeah. There's so many.
Yes, so many. And it's just too much work to get on. So I'm like, oh, I'm not doing raw. It's too much work.
It does take me like 15 minutes to get my knee sleeves on.
And then they smell so bad.
Yeah, they do smell. And I tried to wash them once. It took the smell out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I think it kind of changed the
composition of it.
Yeah, and I was like, damn it, no. So I'm never going to wash them again.
When I was lifting with Edgar for Olympic lifting.
Oh, yeah.
I actually washed my knee sleeves, but I didn't rinse them out enough. So there was still detergent in there. And I had the worst rash.
Oh, no.
From the sweat and the detergent on my legs.
Oh, my gosh.
My skin didn't like it. So if you do wash your knee sleeves, rinse them out like 2 or 3 times. It was...
Yeah,
it smelled really good. It was really uncomfortable.
Ew, that's bad.
I think there's a lot of different ways that you can wash knee sleeves. Like, I don't know, I put mine in the washer, but not in the dryer. But,
oh, no, yeah.
But I've heard, I've heard different things about hand washing
Yeah, I heard
them
you
versus...
gotta like soak them for a while.
Yeah, I've heard very different things.
Just go with classic now. It's better. It's easier.
I just like to smell, so I'm just gonna
I
go
didn't
with
get
it.
knee wraps up until last year.
Knee sleeves or knee wraps?
Knee wraps. So
okay.
I prefer the wraps over the sleeves.
Okay. Yeah. For Olympic lifting, you usually wear them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear them for snatching because I kept hating my knee wraps on the way up.
Really?
So, but I also snatch in nanos. I don't like having that elevated heel because I don't just put me in the back position. It would always throw me forward.
Really?
So I just snatch in flat shoes.
Wow. Interesting.
Yay to the flat shoes. Now, with your powerlifting, what is your shoe preference?
Okay.
Because this is awesome because I'm talking to a fellow CrossFitter that has switched over to powerlifting because I'm the same exact way with my high bar, low bar squat. Like my low bar is pretty much high bar when you compare it to other low bar squatters.
It's not a neck bar.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that.
So what's your shoe preference?
I love my Addy Powers. I've had the same Addy Powers for almost 4 years.
Okay.
They're
awesome.
broken in. They have just all of my gains are just soaked into those shoes. Like, I'm afraid to get new shoes just because I don't want to like feel different.
I know, right?
There's the shoelaces started ripping, so I got new ones. I'm like, I'm not gonna give up on these shoes. I love my Addy Powers for Oli, for squatting.
Yeah.
Now for deadlift and for bench, sometimes I'll condition. Condition is a very loosely used term right there. I move a little bit faster than I would normally.
Do sets of 5.
Over 5 reps.
5 reps is cardio, man. Like, don't
really
even
is.
stretch it.
It really is. But I don't like to do like double unders box jumps in my Converse.
Yeah.
So I'll bring my nanos.
Yeah.
And then I'll deadlift or I'll bench in them and they make fun of me so much. Everybody in the pack
And your
makes so
nanos?
much fun of me. It's just, oh, look at this CrossFitter trying to bench over here. I'm like, judge. It's okay. But I do so on the platform. I wear Converse. I wear my
Okay.
Chucks.
Yeah. Same. Right on.
Little Chucks. Can't go wrong with some Chucks.
No, you can't. You can't go wrong. They're great.
Have you guys tried those Reebok ones that look like Chucks?
Yep. A lot of our lifters have.
Yeah.
They're just a little bit sturdier, right? Are they?
I'm
Because
not
they
really
have like
sure.
more of a. Like a leather, not leather.
They
but
have leather.
They have like kind of a sturdier instead of like cloth, like the Chucks. But
I haven't tried them personally, but I do know that a lot of our lifters use them.
yeah, I've seen a lot of lifters. It's interesting. What fascinated me is going to a meet. I thought that a lot of people would be in flat shoes because I don't know. You think about powerlifting, it's like, oh yeah, everyone's gonna squat in like Chucks or, whatever.
They're all in some sort of lifter.
Everyone is in lifter.
Yep.
At Nationals this past year, like, I think I was the only one that was squatting in Chucks. Everyone else was in lifters.
Do you have like a typical like Olympic style stance?
I have a more narrow stance.
Okay.
Yeah, but you saw like also like a lot of people. It didn't really matter on their stance. Like people were wider, people were more narrow, and I think there might have been one other girl lifting in like my class that was it was really interesting. Yeah, so I don't know.
Opposite of what you got.
Yeah, no, exactly. So. Yeah. So, of course, I want to talk about women in powerlifting and, like, kind of what's your take on that, and maybe talk about comments you've heard from other people, or men or women, and kind of the battles that we have to go through being women in a lifting community.
Yeah. I think it's definitely growing a lot. I've only been doing it since April, so about 8 months. But I've been in the fitness community for a few more years than that. And I don't know if it's a trend shift in social media or just in our culture, in our society, or if it's just people not caring so much anymore about what other people think. But women are just so much more comfortable being stronger looking.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the bigger things that women typically try to avoid is working out without looking too buff. I do know for a fact that it is intimidating to see a woman who has delts walking through the bar. They just split the Red Sea when I walk in Shore Club. Nobody wants to talk to me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
It's like I can go right to the bar and get whatever I need, but it's definitely becoming a lot more acceptable, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just here in California. I'm not sure what it's like in other places, but...
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think I like how a lot of the perception is changing from...
Skinny and...
Yeah, from actually like knowing or caring about how your body performs versus what it looks like. Even though there's still, strong feelings with that, but I think overall women are feeling more comfortable about how their body's performing versus like, oh, I need to have my arms look, skinny and toned or long and lean or whatever other BS. But
I don't think I've ever been long and lean.
Yeah, no, me neither. I had like thunder thighs at the age of like, third when I was in third grade. Yep. So, but yeah, it's awesome to see that transition over and then see women empowering like other women and inspiring them and seeing them lift strong. And it's great. Love it.
I think that's one of my favorite things about our pack. We have our pack is kind of separated in the men's pack and the women's pack, but there are just so many women, and we have like a private group on Facebook where we post our videos, so only we can see it. But we get to motivate each other, and we get to see each other's lifts.
That's
and
awesome.
Not everybody is local. We have a lot of people from all over the country.
Oh, that's cool.
And so they get to see. So maybe in their gym, it's not necessarily the same environment as it is at DCS.
Yeah.
But they get to be motivated and they get to be inspired by a lot of the women in our group.
Yeah.
It's really
fantastic.
It's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
yeah, it's a nice atmosphere to have.
Yes.
Especially when you're lifting.
Yep. And especially since like when I was in the Marine Corps, we were supposed to work out every day, but heaven forbid I weighed more than 155. For my height, my max weight was 155. I went to boot camp at 170 with a 6-pack. But the girl with back rolls got to go in without a fat waiver. I had to have a fat waiver.
Yeah.
So having more muscle set me back in my career.
Oh, yeah.
And I was regularly put like on the body control platoon or the fat people platoon just on the watch list. Like, hey, she's over her max. Like, I can also do 20 pull-ups. So suck it. I don't know what to say. So once I got out, it was much easier for me to do what I wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have to worry about
making weight.
That stuff, that's horrible.
Now when I make weight, it's for competition. It's not for somebody else's standards of how fat I am.
Yeah, exactly. Which is ridiculous. Yeah. Those standards are so
outdated.
Messed up.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they are so messed up.
And the way that they measure, I'm like, I'm sorry that I have a huge butt, but that's what you're gonna measure, because that's gonna not go in my favor. I promise. So.
Yeah, not good. There you go. They definitely need to update that stuff, or just change them up completely. It's
a lot of units, about this was years ago when I was in, would, so in the order, it is written that if you're over your max, you can go to your commanding officer in your PT uniform, the green on green, the green shirt and green shorts, and they can assess you visually and say, I excuse you from the fat people platoon, essentially.
Wow.
So I would regularly go in and be like, I'm not going to be on this.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, just go away. Just don't talk to us anymore.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was looking at someone's Instagram. I think it was one of the ladies that works with the company Girls Who Powerlift, and she posted a picture of what she saw in the Cosmo, I think this month or something, which was absolutely ridiculous. It was a obviously long and lean female doing deadlifts. That was their talk. And so her deadlift technique was obviously not very good. And they expressed in there that, oh yeah, if you're feeling up to it, grab a 5 or 8 pound dumbbell in each hand and do your deadlifts like that. And it really upset me because I was like, wow, because if you grab anything more than 8, you're going to get bulky.
Yeah.
Or you're probably going to look like a man. Like, okay. It's so sad, you see stuff like that, because I think we get kind of caught up in our bubble because we're in our fitness world, and everyone's motivating everyone else, and it's very positive about being strong and having muscle and being a woman and being okay with it.
And
like,
being
it's
happy
fine.
with who you are.
Exactly. And then you kind of get outside of that bubble, and you see how much things still haven't changed at all, and that's kind of upsetting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I think I'll be happy in my bubble. That's okay with me.
Yeah. Like I was telling you guys before, so the comments,
Oh,
the
yeah.
negative comments I've heard,
Yeah.
I think the worst one I've heard was actually from other girls, not from a man.
Yeah.
I think men are actually, just impressed. They're almost, some of them are even turned on by a woman who can squat more than them.
Yeah.
Me personally, it's like a deal breaker if I can squat more than you.
Yeah.
But hey, if that is something that's positive and you're not judging me for being able to squat more than you, super. But I was at school, I was between classes, and I was stretching in the courtyard, and these two, probably 18, 19-year-old girls walking into class and passed me, and they said, ew, is that a man? Obviously loud enough so I could hear it. But, and it's just, it's too bad.
Well, they don't know. They're still in their own bubble, straight out of high school.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
I think that they're in for a rude awakening once they get to the real world, and not everybody's gonna conform to the same standards as you.
Exactly.
So you have to be more global in your perceptions of other people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's tough. It's I always get so bent out of shape when I hear comments of just, because I think one of the comments that was more recent for me, and I was talking with someone, and this guy kind of overheard the guy I was talking with, our conversation, and the guy I was talking with said, "Oh, you're about to hit 400 on your deadlift." And I was like, "Well, no, not quite, but I'll be there soon." And the guy was like, "Oh, you can deadlift 400?" And I said, "No, not yet." And he said, "Oh man, a girl's gonna beat me."
Yeah.
And again, like I said, right at that spot, I didn't think of anything to say. But then afterwards, I was like, "Wow, I could list off so many women that could outlift you right now and deadlift and squat and bench more than you." But I'm not gonna say anything. It's just comments like that. It's as a female, you're not supposed to lift heavy. That's what that comment meant to me.
Right.
Is no, I'm strong, not just for a girl. I'm strong for a
human
person.
being,
Yeah, exactly. That's I would definitely want to get rid of that perception from people. Let's go.
It's definitely heading that way, especially you were saying women now are accepting to having the bigger muscles and stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with CrossFit getting
I think
mainstream.
CrossFit definitely has paved the road for that.
It's
Yeah.
just exploded exponentially in the last few years.
Yeah, totally.
And people, it's on ESPN, so people could just flip by thinking they're going to watch football, and they see one of the David's daughters or Thor's daughters just owning the competition field.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking all jacked.
Yeah, jacked, beautiful,
Happy.
And strong and
Exactly.
happy. Yeah. Happy with themselves.
They don't have to conform to somebody else's
Exactly.
standards.
Yeah, I know.
See, and the people that make those derogatory comments are usually people that are insecure.
Oh, totally.
Can't lift.
No, they
They
don't.
got nothing better going on for themselves.
Yeah,
you know?
they're insecure about themselves,
Yeah.
and
And if he
they're
can't
not
deadlift
happy with
400,
themselves.
if he can't deadlift 400, like how much work is he really putting into it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I work my ass off in the
You
gym.
do.
Like, yes, a girl's gonna beat you. Like,
Yeah, that's that
because I put in the work. Like,
Every single day.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, just like things like that. It's
Yeah.
just it's kind of upsetting when you hear that, but then it just puts some more fuel on your ass, like to get in the gym and work harder. So
That's right.
yeah.
So, DCS, are you still at California?
It's
Is
the
that,
same-
It's
it's
the
the
same
same, yeah.
thing?
So they bought out CrossFit SoCal, I want to say about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it's CrossFit DCS.
Okay.
It's also the California Elite Training Center.
Okay.
And then we have the DCS pack that trains at the gym.
Got ya.
So DCS stands for Decide, Commit, Succeed.
Uh-huh.
And if it's interesting, if you walk into the gym, one half of the gym is CrossFit. The other half has pretty much any piece of equipment or barbell you
Yeah,
could
it's
ever
really
want.
nice.
I haven't
West
been
Side.
there, but I hear nothing
And
but
it's
good
just
things.
if you're looking for a piece of equipment, it's not there. You're wrong because it's gonna be there somewhere, or you just don't
You're not looking hard
You're
enough.
not looking hard enough.
And then
Yeah.
there's just this imaginary line across the gym, like the powerlifters don't go to the CrossFit side, CrossFitters to come over. But no, it's not quite as divided. But it's hard to get a CrossFitter to come over because it's very intense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it more of an intimidation kind of thing?
It's not
or
intimidation. We don't say you guys can't come. You can't lift with
Right.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
It's more of they don't really know what to do when they get over there.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
they're just
that's
kinda scared.
yeah, just like not knowing what.
I know that we're getting back into the CrossFit programming. The coaches that do the CrossFit programming for our gym, they're gonna get back into the CrossFit conjugate stuff.
Oh, cool.
And then they'll be spending more time on our side of the gym.
Yeah.
Fun.
But it's also hard to get a powerlifter to go over and breathe heavy.
Oh yeah.
And to
Yeah.
mobilize. And to mobilize. I spend a lot of time with my newer lifters on mobility. Because
Okay.
the easiest thing to do is to hurt yourself lifting. And it's not sexy to come into the gym and stretch and to
Yeah.
sit there in a pigeon stretch. It's sexy to come in and lift weight and leave. But I'm definitely giving them the foundations of mobility before
Oh,
they
that's
start.
fantastic.
So the
Yay!
power lifters aren't stretching at all, no mobility.
It's funny watching some of the bigger guys try to get into the low bar back squat and their arms are opposite sides of the barbell because they can't physically get their arms in
Yeah,
closer.
curling their arms.
Or trying to do front squats. They physically can't get into that position. So they cross the arms or they use the straps.
Yeah, exactly.
I make fun of them for that. But that's from my Olympic lifting background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
not a front squat if your hands not on the bar.
Oh, that's cool. And you just like made some videos and stuff for your team?
I did. I just made a very long video, my very first one. So
Exciting.
yes, it took a while for all the outtakes, but
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's good to spread the word, especially
Yeah.
for beginners. I think a lot of people, because I think that's what CrossFit has done a good job with is, taught
Structure.
people how to warm up. For the most part, they have taught people how to warm up, how to cool down, like different stretching techniques, different activation techniques, and whatnot. And I don't really see a whole lot of it in the powerlifting world. You don't really see, I mean, you might get little crosses over, and a Juggernaut like has a lot of different things that
Yeah.
they've crossed over and that they educate about, and a few other bigger companies. But yeah, you don't really get a whole lot of exposure to that as you would, and it could be just the style of powerlifting, because a lot of people are kind of remote or in smaller places, and so you're not getting that one-on-one maybe coaching that you would in a CrossFit world, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I can see how that's the case. And I was telling all my mostly the girls, but the guys as well, that you don't have to just take my word for it. CrossFit, they do yoga. They just call it Ramwad.
yeah,
It's pretty much just yoga. It's just with a pretty name. But I love Ramwad.
Yeah.
I do it religiously. But pretty much all of my stretching, all of my mobility, routines that I've made for myself, I've gotten from CrossFit.
yeah. That's awesome. That's cool.
Do you need a subscription for Rumble?
Yes,
You do?
I do.
Yeah.
What's that cost?
I think it's like $7 a month, $8 a month.
It's
Oh.
pretty cheap, yeah.
It's not much,
That's reasonable.
but I started it so long ago that I don't know what the rates are now.
Any rates? Okay. I need to start doing that.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
definitely don't mobilize enough.
That's a song in dance that I hear a lot. I don't mobilize enough.
I'd rather just lift, like you were saying.
It's such
show up, lift, go home.
No one wants to see a video on Instagram of you mobilizing. They just want to see you squat heavy.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah, definitely. I can see the transfer. It's important for sure.
Because if you can't get into the deadlift position to start, you're already setting your body up for a failure.
Oh, totally.
And if you do push yourself too hard without the proper setup and the proper mechanics, then you're going to be out of the gym for months with a bad injury.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot easier for you to fall back into that injury cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you do finally recover.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you deal with on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah. See it all the time. Yep. And definitely people don't spend enough time taking care of their own body. Like, they'll take the time off, but don't do anything to rehab or, whether it is stretching or some kind of activation techniques or, whatever it might be. They'll take the time off and be like, all right, I'm ready to go back into it. And you didn't do anything to fix the problem.
Right.
You rested, so now you're not having pain. That problem's still there, buddy. So when you get into that bad deadlift setup, it's going to happen again.
Almost instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about? Time off and beers isn't enough?
I took a couple weeks off. I'm good.
That's what I did last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was CrossFitting, I was mentioning this in my video that I would literally just have the same injury migrate from body part to body part. So it'd start from my shoulder, and then a month later it would be my knee, and then it'd be my forearm, and then it'd be my back, and it would just go from place to place because I wasn't helping myself.
Yeah.
I was just trying to push through the pain. I was trying to be better than my injury. I was trying to will the injury away.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I started taking care of my body, 20, 30 minutes a day, and that's in between my lifts as well. And I haven't, knock on wood, haven't really had a serious injury for years.
Yeah. That's
2
awesome.
years.
Yeah. That's good. That's
I love
awesome. Yep. You got to spend the time.
Yep.
For sure.
It's that 20-minute investment in my day is worth not having to take a month off.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, and I tore my hamstring 10 years ago when I was at the Naval Academy when I was swimming. And while I can still feel, I definitely still baby it. I still take care of it. But it doesn't inhibit me from moving.
Yeah. I would say with that squat number, I think you're good.
I think it's my deadlift that's up for that.
Which is still decent. Like, that is still a good deadlift, though. Like, I wouldn't say, like, that sucks.
Absolutely. Are you messing around with Olympic lifting at all? Or are you just straight powerlifting?
I still Olympic lift. I have my barbell at the gym, so
Cool.
I have to give Haas some attention, some love.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just for me to still move weight without, getting stuck into the monotony. Sometimes people get burnt out on just moving 3 different movements.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I'll go over and I'll do some cleans, or I'll put a barbell over my head. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Going back to the other stuff.
I'm breathing really heavy. I did was it like 10? It was supposed to be 20 snatches. And I did 10. I got to 10 at 155. I'm like, nope. At 10 is good. I'm going back to my side. 10 reps is a lot.
Yeah, that is.
Snatching 155, and I hadn't snatched for months. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
1 rep at a time is my money.
I hear ya. I've jumped into a couple of CrossFit workouts here and there since transferring over to powerlifting, and it's been
embarrassing.
It's been pretty embarrassing. Like, the weight moves super easy. Like, cleans, I'm like, yeah, I could do this all day until it gets to 5 rep, and then I'm like, okay, no, I can't. Like,
that cardio.
Yeah, I know, right? And then it gets in, and then it's all downhill from there.
My mom came in to visit me, and she's all into the CrossFit stuff. Like I was saying, she's going to Wadapalooza. I think it's next weekend.
Yeah, that's
She'll be
really
competing
cool.
in Miami, and she's 46.
That's freaking awesome.
And she's my hero. But she came in for Christmas, and she wanted to do a workout with me. Oh, Mom, sorry, I'm still doing my squats. Nope, sorry, still can't do any more balls. So I was like, I don't want my mom to embarrass me and beat me in a workout. So
Your mom's awesome. She gets all her product, man.
She loves
awesome.
it.
Very cool.
We actually both wear the striped pants with the orange lion on the side.
Yeah.
And in the mirror, we're taking a picture. Like, my lion's a lot bigger than yours because it's on the side of our leg. my lion's fat. She loves it. She loves her hat. She always takes pictures of it.
Yeah.
And sends it to me to send to you guys.
Yeah.
She took a picture of it at the Grand Canyon. I sent this to Rick. Okay, Mom, I will.
Very cool. Yeah, no, we appreciate her. She's been a loyal customer for a while now.
Yeah. Now my aunt's getting into it too.
Yeah?
So Laurel Smith just bought her pants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my aunt.
Sweet.
She loves it too, so.
Yeah, those tights that we ended up coming up with are pretty awesome.
Oh, I love them. They're so comfortable.
Yeah.
They're soft.
I know.
They fit my legs, which is rare.
Yeah.
I hear you on that.
I know they say they're for women's, but I'm gonna buy a pair for myself.
Do it.
So, I had, you being in the military, this has kind of been a hot topic for a while now. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about females in combat?
I have some mixed thoughts. I know that we are perfectly capable physically, and
I agree.
There is so much debate against women going into combat because of psychological responses from men. If a woman stubs her toe, but a man is shot, he is instinctively more likely to help her. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Mm-hmm. That might just be like a theory. But what my issue is, where our theater of combat. So women in Afghanistan have, and in Iraq, it's the people whose hearts and minds that we're trying to win over don't put women on the same level as men. Their society has men and women on different levels. So when they see somebody coming in and trying to help them or trying to eradicate some terrorist or some threat or some insurgency, but there's a woman in their squad, they might feel less respected in their own in their own social customs. But on the other hand, one of my best friends, she's actually over in Afghanistan right now. She's a postural linguist. We deployed together twice, and she's back over there as a civilian. The fact that she's able to interact with women in the culture is something that no man can do. No Western man can talk to a Middle Eastern woman.
Yeah.
So I have mixed thoughts about it. But as far as the physical abilities, I definitely don't think that's an issue.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, like I said,
I just really think it depends on the combat situation, on the theater of combat.
Yeah.
If it was in North Korea, they don't necessarily view women any differently than men. So it'd be totally different.
Right. Because doesn't Israel have females in combat?
Yep, absolutely.
Very cool.
So what did you just study in school?
Linguistics.
Oh, okay.
And cognitive psychology.
Okay, nice. So what are you looking to go into with your job?
I've pretty much just been focusing on any linguistics position. One of the junior linguist jobs I just applied to is pretty much just teaching a computer how to use the English language. So a programmer can code words into a program, but the computer doesn't necessarily know what's a noun and how it interacts with verbs or how it interacts with adjectives and prepositions and so on. So my job as a syntactician or a semantics person would be basically to tell the computer or the programmer how these words interact with each other.
Oh,
but that's one field I can get into. Or there's language acquisition. How people acquire second and third languages.
Yeah.
Or how kids acquire a first language.
Yeah.
Or deficits, and if somebody has like a brain aphasia and one of the language centers of the brain is broken, how can they compensate?
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So,
oh, that's cool.
I can go all day about being a nerd with linguistics, but
yeah,
it's really exciting to me.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah. So you can work in probably a lot of different types of settings or fields.
Could teach English as a language, as a second language.
Yeah.
Could go and get my master's and work in like speech pathology.
Oh, okay. Cool.
There's a lot of different fields.
That's awesome. Wow.
You gonna try to stick around San Diego, or are you willing to go elsewhere, possibly out of the country, maybe?
I don't really want to go out of the country because I don't know what they would do to my dog. He would come with me, and I don't want to like quarantine him anywhere.
I'll take Apollo.
No, he's my child. He would definitely. He loves beards, so he would nuzzle your beard all day.
Yeah.
But he's my child. Probably not out of the country, at least not for the foreseeable future. Washington, Seattle, Oregon, the Pacific Northwest sounds interesting to me. But
yeah.
Pretty much anybody who will pay me money to do a linguist job, I'll consider, unless it's like in the middle of the desert. I've done the desert. I don't care for it. Grew up in the desert, deployed to the desert. Doesn't suit me.
Yeah.
I need the beach. I need the
Lush
ocean
and
close by.
green,
Yeah,
Northwest.
nice.
Yeah.
And I love the rain. The weather here is just, I love it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, the Northwest will be money for you. rain.
Yeah.
But I still think you can't beat San Diego.
You can't beat it. You can't.
You can't. Tell everyone.
So, I mean, obviously.
But don't move here. Everyone stop moving.
I'm trying to, like, find jobs here.
Cool.
But
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, we wish you all the best. Thank you so much for
Cool.
having us. So where can people... Do you have, like, a public Instagram profile? Or?
Timminy. I don't think there actually is an underscore. It's Timm underscore Timminy. Timminy. It's my Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much where I do all my social media stuff.
Cool.
And your gym, the gym's located
It's in Kearney Mesa.
Okay.
It's CrossFit DCS, or also known as California Elite Training Center.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there between the 163 and the 805.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well,
If
thanks
you
so much.
if you can't find a barbell in your gym, chances are we have it. We have everything you could possibly want to powerlift, CrossFit.
Awesome.
We even have a Stairmaster. Like,
Oh, well, I don't know if that's not tempting.
I got about 5 minutes into it. I'm like, all right. I thought it was like a half an hour. It was not a half an hour. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
We appreciate it.
Thanks
Thanks
for
so
having me.
much.
Thanks for listening to Lionheart Radio. Don't forget to rate us and download our other episodes. For your supplement needs, go to louaviv.com, and for your sports therapy needs, visit movement-rx.com.
This Midwest nigga be the coldest. Cleveland is the city where it's hustle or you hopeless. And my closet like a stove, bitch. Only difference is you ain't gon' find this in no stove, bitch. I'm fresher than your whole clique.